him with a big round of applause. To join him, we have Mr. Vaidyanathan V, who is the CIO at Unity Small Finance Bank. Mr. Narendra Sonawane, who is the CIO at Infosys Limited. And Mr. Vijay Babu, who is the CIO at ABB. Okay, over to you, Dharmendra sir, to get started with the session.
Sure. Yeah, good evening. I'm Dharmendra Kumar, CIO for 𝐓𝐚𝐣 doing business transformation, digital transformation, correcting business processes, making, integrating the loosely fitted business processes are the hobby for me and the profession by. I would like to first, Vijay, if you can introduce yourself so that people can be.
Hi, I'm Vijay, CIO of ABB India. Prior to this, I was a CIO for the Southern African continent for ABB. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay. Yes, Narendra.
I think we have done the introduction.
Okay, still you have to say something about yourself, which he has missed out.
Okay, so Narendra from Infosys have spent about 30 plus, almost 35 years now in the industry. So I have done a lot of things, failed in a lot of things, succeeded in a lot of things. So that's how I would summarize it.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm V. Vaidyanathan, the not that famous Vaidyanathan of IDFC Bank. So I have this tough job of starting a new age digital bank, and we are the last to get the license. And we have an interesting story which we'll share.
Thank you, Vadi. So let's start that. Okay, so how we start our journey from transforming our digital roadmap, right? What processes we have adopted, how we have done it, how this transformation happens. Let's start from Vijay, that side.
I think from morning till now, we have been seeing a lot of things. But maybe I think from just a recap of the journey that we as CIOs or the IT leaders, we got it all these years. If you see prior to just for us in terms of 2006 times during that period of time, where there was a statements that I was always said that, okay, there's been so many satellite systems that are there, so now let's integrate all these things, and then we always make a business case, okay, there's so many systems not integrated, not communicating with each other, and hence we bring it to a one single system. So at the time, more focus was on ERP related optimizations that are coming. But now as we see across, now from that journey of the ERP consolidations, setting up of the shared services that has gone up during that 2006, the next evolution from there is on the infrastructure that has come up so well. Now the infrastructure has picked up, and most importantly, the communication across the systems have picked up. And previously we were serving more of internal IT customers. Now we are serving our customers external. So previously IT was internal oriented system, means internal oriented stakeholders, but now our stakeholders are much more bigger, which moved from internal to external, internal service to external service, from a technology which is more of used inside the premises or within the perimeter is now outside the perimeter. So this is the transformation that we have gone. So now what is that bringing on to our table now? While we can touch upon AI and all, there's a lot of things. But in short and a high level that is expected is that now our perimeter is not a single big system, because the dynamics at the environment and the dynamics outside the world is changing. And how quick and how fast are you able to react to that, and how quick and how fast are you able to adopt a technology that is emerging out. So for this, the erstwhile old concept of having a huge big system which is everything be done in that and be restricted with the silo, with the limitations within that system is coming out. Now the scenario is more about make a lean core which is there, So in terms of having your core business sitting over there in one of the lean core ERP systems or whatever it is, then build the satellite systems that are around this ERP system, because now you have a best API is to speak across, best technology, best infrastructure to do it. Now the perspective is totally changed. So from a big magnanimous ERP systems to the lean core ERP system, plus a satellite systems. Like for example, master data is coming. I cannot change my entire ERP for that reason of master data. For that data governance that is coming, GDPR coming, sometime tomorrow is coming. So I need my data here. So data is a satellite system that sits in one of my core component. Next, Salesforce. Next, Ariba, supply chain tool. So all these interface, all these satellite systems will be there. There is a lean core that will sit here, so that tomorrow, if there is a Salesforce is not there, for example, remove it, plug in some other system, so that you are there. So how quick and how fast you can transform business is there. So from a CIO table, at least from my company, I can say here that this is the journey that we are taking care of, and then we are marching towards this journey in realigning all our infrastructure and systems around this.
Vijay, if you can tell us that, okay, what was the big ticket for you when you are actually transforming these business processes from scratch?
The first thing is the ERP. How can we break down an ERP? We built an ERP for almost in 2006, which right now hosts 56 countries. Now the question is, now with these satellite systems coming, so we have to remove the SAP CRM. Now we have to insert the Salesforce coming in. Next, we have to remove the core supply chain processing. Now we have to put the Ariba into these systems. Then we have to remove the master data from this and then put the MDM system. So today, our biggest challenge is how we can do this with least business disruption. And one of the major journey that we have undertaken, and which is now in a success mode, is till now we have seen that, okay, we are into a region-based systems and then region-based ERPs and single ERP. But now we need to get the now we know technology is there. Now we have the different tools on ERP has also emerged so much. Now across globe, for us 100+ countries where we have ABB have a presence, we want all these countries finance payments to be routed through one single bank. So I will get the muscle power to deal with the better commercials and better deal. So we have marched towards a journey last 6 months before we did the go live. Now entire ABB world payments will be done through one single channel, and all ERPs will speak to one ERP and make the payment. So this is one of the remarkable achievement that is there, and still the journey is continuing, a 2-year plan. So by which you can see a very big system, a satellite system getting developed, and ERP dependence on ERP is reduced. At the same time, the speed and agility of changing. Tomorrow I don't like this bank and I want to change this bank. I am not dependent on it. One decision at a group level can change the partner or whatever it is. So that is the benefit, and there are incidental benefits of it. So this is one of the biggest transformation that we are undergoing. And there is another biggest transformation that we are doing is in terms of the factories. Every factory has to be turned to from smart factory, normal factory to smart factory. This is our another goal that is set for us. So morning I have given a big lecture on this, so I don't want to repeat it here. And the third important thing that we are seeing is the people. The most important thing during this entire transformation journey, we don't want to lose the people who are being part of these journeys for all these transformations. And the biggest part of the success is these journeys are successful only if you have the right people and experienced people. And that's what ABB is blessed with on this. So this is in short about
They
our
are
journey.
the catalyst for this particular project, right? Very true. Yeah, now moving to Narendra, most of the work you are doing for your clients, right? But how it is been actually transformed, how it actually takes into, and how the things are actually been, working out for you being an IT firm.
So we more or less our big milestone from a transformation we reached about 4 years back. So wherein Okay, so the problem we tried to solve was that we have that time not, but now today close to 400, so 4 lakh employees, 50 plus countries. So many people joining new as such, right? Who is going to teach them, all these systems as such? So we didn't want, and that was the biggest problem as such, for, trying to have induction sessions across the world and so on. So it was not working out. So we said, let's build an experience layer. And doesn't matter underlying what apps, so we had, and now we have less apps as such, but at that point in time, we had 200 plus apps, so many ERP as such, various products as such. We said, doesn't matter, all for you, it's just one app that we called as 𝐓𝐚𝐣. Me as in the me was, that is the user is at the center and everything actually comes to him or her. All you need to do is you can type saying, I want to do this in common English. Otherwise, all the apps have their own names and people need to know that this is what it means, as such. Because all these are acronyms, at sometimes some fancy names given by people as such. But we changed all of that saying with micro front ends, microservices, you just put what is it that you want to do and it will tell you, it will build a small form, a micro front end, and you can execute that transaction. And I demonstrated it to that during our coffee time. So there was a PR up for approval, but it just gives a notification that I need to approve something. I approved it as such. It doesn't matter whether it's CRM, Microsoft Dynamics, or SAP as such. It doesn't matter. There are 200 apps. It is just one single interface as such. So the other aspiration that we have now is saying, can we have our own experience layer? So, okay, let's see what kind of functionality is today available on after 4 years back when I said we completed our big transformation. But today almost 70% of the functionality. From an employee point of view, everything that he or she needs, it's there. But from a power user point of view, they still need to access some of the old apps, etc. The aspiration is that also we should change it and make it as uniform. So it almost becomes like our own, I don't want to call ERP because ERP is a bad connotation. But basically with the architecture that it is federated development, microservices, micro front end. The micro front end itself are in a way develop our own LC/NC, plus of course various other commercial components also. So which allows you to see a consistent view. And doesn't matter again what is the app that you want to use, what is the underlying app as such. So it still rides on the underlying apps, whether they are own custom apps or their ERP or their CRM as such, and that's about it. With AI first now we were able to deploy, already we have some 4 solutions with large language models running on top of it as such. I think the whole agility etc. piece, which was not hitherto possible with all the different products, giving, making, bringing everything together, pulling data together, consistent experience, all that was a challenge that I think we have, to a large extent, we have solved it.
Any of the product or the, the project which you have taken as a transformation, right? Can you pick up any of them and say that, okay, this is what actually we have done it and that actually bought most of the client more, value added or something like that?
As I said, I mean, employees don't have to really know any of the apps. They just have to, in plain English, saying, I want to travel, for example. I want to travel, then it'll ask with domestic or whatever. And then the micro front end will come and you can do it. Doesn't matter. It can be a complex as I want to raise I want to procure something.
So basically, it is an interactive product which can.
Today it is just a search, and based on the search, it brings a front end, micro front end. But with large language model now, it's very easy for us to transform, and that's why I said the rest of the 30-40%, which is still on older UX, especially for power user, that also we can very easily transform now. That's right. And the good part is we are able to monetize it. We have sold it to 14 clients as such, this solution.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, now move up to Vaidhi. You are from a different sector, most challenging and heartbreaking for the people, because handling much more transaction a day. If you can tell us about your transformational journey from manual to digitization, or from digitization to the advanced level of that, we could be more happy.
Yeah, bank by definition, we are sitting with the public money, so we can't fool around. So I've been, see, Unity Small Finance Bank is a new age bank, and we were the last to get the license and last to start. Small finance bank by definition is that I can't lend to the corporates. 80% of our lending has to be to the MSME sector. And I've been part of starting 3 banks, ABN AMRO in India, HDFC Bank in India, and then now. So my first meeting with my chairman, he asked me, he said, you've done everything, you're sitting in Singapore, why do you want to come to India? Why do you want to do this? I said, I'm close to retirement and I would like to do it just for the fun of it. And as a consulting mentality, wherever there is a problem, there is an opportunity to make money as well. So, but if you're not doing consulting, the money is not great. But starting a bank, you get the very rare opportunity to start a bank from scratch. So Unity Bank actually got its license in October 15. We commenced operation in the first branch in November 2021. By the time we could even crawl, we acquired another existing SICK bank, which was in a suspended state for 2.5 years in January. Then, and by end of January, merged a couple of entities from our parent organization, Centrum. So I took charge in March, and so it was a, to put it simply, it was a complete mess. Because a bank which was in a suspended state for 2.5 years, so literally ATMs were in water and lockers were closed, people were not there, some people were working with it from home. So when I took over the technology, I mean, we were in a situation where, we've called ourselves digital. So the first very funny incident, I was not there when this first branch inauguration happened. So the chairman inaugurated the first branch and he was asked to sign some 5 account opening forms. So he got furious, he tore off all the 5 forms, went to the Almera inside the branch and pulled down all the papers from there. I said, no, this is not what I want. It has to be digital, no paper, 0 paper, everything has to be digital. So somehow they were not ready for it, so they convinced him to sign just 1 paper. So when I joined in, my mandate was to make it completely digital. So when it took stock, the problem was, when I visited the DC that we had in Bombay. So I come from a Singapore background, nice clean city. It looked like a pigsty for me. So, but if I come and make that statement inside the boardroom, they'll say you're talking about a Singapore kind of an environment. But luckily, something very strange happened. RBI audits happen out of the fly. They don't give you time, and they say, I'm landing tomorrow morning 10 a.m. So when they were saying that, I said, please don't come. I mean, I've taken charge, and why do you want to come in 20 days? He said, but they postponed it for 3-4 days, so they landed up. And then, they were there in the DC and telling everything to me. They were saying, your name is Vaidyanathan, you're a Tambram, you're 5 feet 11, you are fair. I said, what is it new? I know everything. I said, you're not telling me something new at all. So, but the good outcome was they found some 300, 400 faults in my existing system, technology, my DC and everything. So when we sat into the management committee and we said, if we have to answer these 300 questions and 300 problems, we are 1 year gone. We're not even in the race. So, and another problem was my database, my software, my mainframes, they were all going out of service in AMC by 31st of December 2022. So I was in August and we took a call to, so I mean, there was only way. I said, listen, if na rahega baans, na bajegi bansuri, bloody throw every software that is there that they have seen, wipe it off, remove the DC, no software. So all these 400 observations through the window. Then the challenge is, I said, we'll replace the CBS. So I have done CBS replacement as way of life since 1984. I've done it around the globe. So it was not a big thing for me. But the challenge was, my partners in the management, and they say it was like teaching Bhagavad Gita to the wrong audience, and they will judge whether I've taught them properly or not. So the tough question was to convince them. Then me and my chairman agreed, if not now, then when? So we had to change. So we took a call, and we had to change the whole thing within 31st of December 2022. So it was a race against time. So we started calling all vendors in the market, we evaluated, and then my only ask to the vendor was, it has to go live before 31st of December. You don't have a choice. We found one vendor. He said, I'll do it in 99 days. So we started and we finished from the LOI to the ribbon cutting. We finished off a complete core banking replacement in 88 days flat, which has never ever been done anywhere in the world. So as I speak, I get calls for people to ask me, he said, is it real?
Yes.
I got a call from a very big bank in US and he said, Vaidhi, we heard you did a core banking transformation in 88 days flat. Is it true or it's a story? I said, it's true, but I'll be happy to share the story. So you want to fly down or are you paying my ticket to the US? So it was fun. But the problem now is my management expects anything and everything digital in 88 days. That's the whole problem. So now I said, no way. I am the one guy, I said, I am the one guy who says no to everything in the board. I said, not possible. And I have a very good, my chairman has left now because of the 75 years age, Vinod Rai, who was chairman of the bank. So I used to get along very well with him. All the approvals were very easy. He would nudge me, he said, come on, let's do it. So the interesting part of this 88-day journey was we started with 100 days. Then the day I gave the LOI to the vendor, that's the day we agreed. And then we said we'll go live by 5th of December. And that date never changed. There was no change, nothing happened. And then, I'm a Tambram, I'm a little bit religious. So on that day of, the go live, I did a puja in the bank and all that. And then the Panditji nudged me and said, Vaidhi, this 7:39 is a Rao Kalam. You want to do the inauguration at Rao Kalam 8:30? So I said, I'll push it by half an hour. So I just texted WhatsApp to my chairman. I said, pushed by 30 minutes, we'll do it at 9:01. So luckily my chairman landed at 9:10. So we cut the ribbon. It went live. So now it's part of the folklore in the banking industry. Now every bank now is being questioned, can't we do it in 88 days? So it's fun. It's been a great journey. But the problem is, we have to give the basic banking services today. We have replaced the CBS, but I don't have a digital mobile app or internet banking or any of the so-called digital things which we are talking. But the best part is the latest comer today who's going to buy an iPhone today has a hand on the iPhone 15. But somebody who had bought it 10 days back, he wouldn't have had a hand at iPhone 15. He would have bought iPhone 14. So technology latest buyer can get the mileage to do it.
Sure.
So it's been interesting, but it's a long way to go before we actually, because we won't never go to the likes of these HDFC or the ICICI 5,000, 6,000 branches. No, we'll cap it at 300, but those kind of customers we will try to acquire by completely digital means. And while I'm talking, one of the mandates that I have is to probably try and make the best mobile banking app in the world. He said, but time, I said, no time, but the best app. So I've not given them the time, so the work is in progress.
You can try Infosys.
Yeah, that's a separate discussion.
Another thing is that, see, you talked about some acquisition and something happens with the other banks also, right?
Oh, yeah, see, like I said, 1st November, we went live with 15th October when we got the license. 1st November 2021, we launched the bank. But then there was this PMC bank which was in a suspended state for 2.5 years. So it came as an acquisition strategy. RBI gave an option to many banks and we were the successful bidders. We acquired that bank. But like I said, I remember after, say 3 months, I had to sign a document to physically break open the ATMs because the passwords were forgotten and those guys who knew the passwords are non-existent in the organization. So those kind of challenges we actually face. And some of these ATMs are literally in the basement flooded. So today we have literally wiped out all of them. We are on a SaaS model. Another interesting thing that happened was, RBI keeps calling you every now and then whenever they feel like. So honestly, I don't like Bombay, but I'm forced to live there. My family lives in Bangalore, so I keep shuttling. So every time they call the CEO and the CIO, and I tell them, I said, yeah, this CIO is in Bangalore, it's not available. So the poor guy, my CEO goes there. So it's in the background of our office itself, behind our office. And so Bandra Kurla complex. So he gets called at short notice, 2 hours notice, he's summoned. And he has no choice but to just land up there and give him all the answers that they want. So every now and then I've been avoiding them. I think I killed my mother-in-law, father-in-law, my father, my grandma many times to avoid meeting RBI. Because they will ask me some stupid questions, I lose my cool. I said, I'm not going to do it. So somehow, then my chairman said, guy, let's go, let's meet them. So we met them and then I told them, I said, listen, this bank is in this state because of you guys, you didn't do your job properly. What we are doing is a good job. We are cleaning up the mess left behind by you. So please don't push us. I think that fell on their ears and they have given us a longer runway to clean up the mess. So that's the good part about it.
True. This is a very, very typical task and difficult also that once you go for any merger acquisition and bringing their policy transformation to your level under one umbrella is very, very difficult. I heads up for that. Okay, you were
Very
able
one
to do that.
on a lighter note. Maybe you can develop a AI large language model on how to answer Reserve Bank of India and monetize it. Monetize it. Product.
You would be a best resource for that at
let
least.
me share this. I think I must share this. So I was driving back from my meeting in RBI, and it was a long drive from Colaba to Andheri, my residence, then to the airport. And then I was thinking, you know, these are the new age kids now are telling me what I'm doing is wrong, and the mess that they have created. What do I do? The seaside audit guys. I said, the best thing is, suddenly I went and met my chairman. I said, I'm going to do something. I'm going to hire the same guys at triple the price, and they will work for me. So that's the best thing. I hired 2 of them. I'm looking for more. So
Good. Thank you, Vaidi. Now move on to Vijay, right? See, you've done this ERP transformation, brought ERP into your business, right? Collaborate your business processes and other things, right? Can you tell me about what was the strategy behind that, right? How you have started from there? What was the things in mind that, okay, I'm starting from here and where I have to land up after 1 year, 3 years, 5 years or something like that? Do you have any roadmap on that?
I think the current, hello, yeah. Hello, yeah. See, I think from an experience perspective, my past experience will speak more. So basically when we started our journey for establishing a big size ERP where we have small shared services across various locations, our target was just to get somehow the shared services into one place and try to make it a good service organization to come up. But on and on, as we go along, we saw that, you know, the base was not correct, and then we should set the base first before we, you know, indulge into any kind of a value added service provided to business. So we started, you know, implementing the full ERP with all the partner support. Our estimation was that, you know, the good part is that the leadership who was sitting in India was a regional leadership. So we pulled up, we made a business case, we had a meetings like this in this one. And when we presented it, the first thing that when we presented all these things, we can see a CFO taking a laptop and banging it just onto the floor at the same time. They say, are we kidding ourselves by doing this, by explaining these processes? So this is the first thing that we get. So any transformation is more with emotions. You know, people will say emotions or not, they think with brain, but we are human beings, emotions are bound to come. So the manner in which we handle these emotions is the first thing that we need to see is setting the emotions, making ourselves cool, concentrating on the target and do. We started with one country, we went live in 8 months for a pilot, and in 1 year we went live all 8 plus 1, 9 countries across. 3 months, 1 country go live. You can see the bandwagon of 800 consultants working across. So we are all ready with all passports. Then tomorrow they will say there's a firefighting. So we have a firefighting team. So pick up now there's an issue here, just fly to Singapore. Now from Singapore, once you come, now fly to Kuwait. So it's like this way we have a good solid execution team, but we have a firefighting team. So I was a consultant at the time during that period. So we were part of firefighting team. So we go across any country, handle it. So again, the process, what we have done is we ensure that we got it up. Now that's the size where it is serving 56 countries. Our plan was just 8 plus 1, 9. Now it has grown to 56 countries. So the best part of all these things is the groundwork that what we did here in India. And then make sure that the business was part of this. So our transformation journey, the first thing that we learned is make a solid team. So the team is not just only tech team. So the team should be part of tech team, business team, and some business managers also. So this is the full combination. So when a solution is presented, it's battered with all kinds of scenarios, and then our outcome of it is just sailing through. Any number of questions, anything will have. And our biggest thing is whenever we go to a country, they have already established systems, established practices. And it's like we say, scrap, take a broomstick, scrap it, our system is going to come. When you have to do this, again, every country we have a team size of around 100, 150 business heads. Every head will be sitting across and say, okay, now explain about your system. So this is what the journey that we have, a very difficult journey, but very challenging journey. And then in this whole fashion that we made, we ensured today, because of that one seed that was sowed, 56 country ERP support is here, 87 country shared services is here, running out of India, HR services are being run out of in India, and now we are going to be the global center for the entire non-ERP apps coming up. So India is growing, and the seed that was laid before is really reaping out.
Yeah, now move on to Narendra, if you can talk about the strategy you people have actually bought into for your digital transformation roadmap.
See, I think, so in this case, the transformations idea was born out of my organization as such. So how do you sell it to everybody? How do you get everybody excited about it? Because this problem is known, but how do you get it done? I think that was the biggest problem, and the biggest success is because of that. And sometimes luck really favors you. It so happened that while we were on this journey and we were trying to get sponsorship from the CHRO then and then the CEO and the CIO sorry, not the CFO as such, trying to get some money. And we were struggling on this idea, but it so happened that there was an escalation done by a very senior sales guy to Nandan, who is the chairman. And then Nandan called me saying, she said, so his admin called me saying, Nandan wants you immediately. And then I had no clue as to what it was. And then Nandan was also not very happy. He was upset saying, this is a complaint these guys are saying. So I said, I have a solution for this. And I said, think that we are doing this, etc. But he thought that I'm trying to just wing it. I mean, I'm just trying to, because he's, cornered me, I'm trying to just say that, yeah, we are doing it, we are solving it, and so on. So he said, why don't you share me a plan? So I said, okay, and I went to my desk and sent it. Within half an hour, I sent it. So that's when he realized that what I was talking was real something. Then he said, okay, let's do a detailed review. And so after 4 or 5 reviews, he understood that really we are onto something, and the vision that we have is something. And then he sponsored it. After that sponsored, it really helped. So the first, for me, I think finding the right, if you want to truly transform, and he talked about CFO banging the laptop as such. I hope that was the only laptop that got, but there needs to be a strong sponsor who is convinced about it. And I am sure that after the laptop, destruction, it was clearly that it was his passion that he wanted to see the change. And again, Vaidya also talked about his, the papers. So I think there has to be some conviction to really do some transformation. Of course, you can do some small, tweaks here and there, and people get excited. We can have parties and success parties, etc. But truly transformation, it has to, the problem has to be appreciated and sponsored at the highest level. And it can happen through various ways. It happened in the 3 of our cases. I think that really, after that, I think various things come into play to make it a success. But if you ask me what is the single most thing, I think having the right sponsor. But after that, I think we are all leaders. We can figure out the rest of the things, right? Whether getting a right set of team, right of technology, all we have been baked up enough in this syrup, so to say, that we can figure out the rest of things. But I think that would be my take on it.
Yeah, right. Sponsorship is very important. Otherwise, the entire project will be taken into different direction altogether, right? Yeah. I have another question to you, Naren, right? If you don't mind. See, how do you balancing the faster decision making with your business demand, right? How you correlate, how you actually balancing both of them, right?
So how are they? There is no contradiction, right? the faster decision is because the business
So
needs
a lot
agility.
of business requirement comes to you, right?
Yeah.
And you also have some limitation, you also have some priority or something like that. You also have some limitation of your team size, your skill set and other things, right? How are you balancing both of them and making the environment more comfortable to work out?
So the different people have tried to solve this governance problem. I don't think we have solved it in a great way, but this is what works. So we have, for each of the key stakeholders, like finance team, like HR, key stakeholders, we have asked them, what are your big bets? What is it really you want to transform in this year 2023, or we call it 2024 because of the financial year? People in the Indian industry will understand this part. So in 2024, what is it that you want to transform? And they'll come out with some 10 projects, each one, and we try to say it cannot be like 20 projects. You cannot transform it, that won't happen. So identify what are those 10. Then we say, okay, how important are they? So then of course the answer is, it's a rhetorical question, right? They are all important projects. So then we say, okay, how much bandwidth we should devote to this? And typical answer would be 50-60% should be on transformation project. Then I think the rest will follow then. Then you say, okay, these are the top projects, and the rest of the bandwidth available is for the run the business or small tweaks that we want to do.
So
within that also, the small tweaks also then, because again, there also there is a lot of pressure. Then we say, okay, which one is going to impact revenue? Which one is from compliance point? Again, compliance also, many times you cannot be really 100% compliant in all the cases. You say, what is the risk and whether this compliance can be deferred by 6 months, especially if their operations are very, very small in some country. So you can say it's okay to not be 100% compliance and so. So that's how we do it. I don't think it's a very great system as such. The reason I'm saying it is not great is because, see, if it would be great if again some CEO says, hey, this is how we should do it. Because it is my own system, they're always saying, no, we are not doing enough, or we should do more of it. But unless, like, if Nandan says that this is how we'll do it, then everybody says, yes, this is the greatest system that we have.
Good, thank you. Now move on to Vaidhi. See, lot of change management issues happens with the bank, with your clients, right? How do you handle that particular piece of problem?
See, I've been a consultant for at least 20 odd years, and I follow one basic principle called mushroom philosophy. And it's, I don't know how many of you know it, it's basically keep them in the dark and feed them shit, they grow very well. So, so don't over-educate everybody with everything. So, I mean, what is necessary, you educate them, get the approval, keep moving. If you educate them, then you can have argument till the cows come home and nothing gets done. So
that is the mantra for manufacturing industry, not for the bank, but how you are adopting that one successfully in the banking sector also.
Everything starts with somebody's daydream, and a change also, it's either a necessity or it's a peer pressure that we need to.
Yes.
So, one of the things that, in one of the award that we got for the fastest CBS implementation in the world, and we said, is it replicable? Can we do it again? I said, yeah, definitely, it's replicable. If I can do it, and others can do it, probably maybe less than. But so what is the secret? It's actually, if I were to say what I followed was very simple. Is it choose carefully, think thoroughly, choose carefully, plan properly and professionally, and execute ruthlessly. And people don't matter. I mean, end date, it doesn't change at all. That's the way you have to do it. I mean, one of the biggest problems of projects failing that I've seen all my life is the most critical project will have the most daddu staff out there. And they're the bench guys sitting on the bench. You go to a treasury guy, give me your best guy. Arey nahi yaar, wo sab kuch aur kar raha hai. You ye bench pe baitha, isko le lo. Then you go to the retail guy, he'll give me some flunky who doesn't understand retail at all. End of the day, I'm sitting with donkeys and running a horse race. So that's the reasons why, the main projects fail. So this time, I picked up the people. I said, these are the guys, and no passengers on the train, they will do it. So that's the reason why the dates never changed, except for the 31-minute delay. So I think that's the only way to do it. But the mushroom philosophy works actually, not to educate everything to everybody. You have to do it. If you have the intentions of good and you want to do it, make a change. And we have to do it. And For us, it's time is a constraint. We are already very late in the race. We are one of the 500 plus banks. Why should somebody come and bank with me? Today we are the best in FD. We give 10.5 to the senior citizen, 9.5. But that's not the way forward. That can't. No, but digital, yes, I can change. I can do something different from others, and then probably have the lead run, and I can have an extended 6-month advantage over the others.
True. Very true. Move on to Vijay. Lot of transformational project you have done, and you also let us know also. And lot of problems also you have faced in between, right? I would like to account them to us that, okay, some of them, if you can list it out, that what exactly you have faced during your journey, right? I tell you my journey. When I started this digital transformation, management said that, okay, we will be running retail business into this, right? I went to SAP and I said that, okay, I need IS retail from you, correct? This ERP implementation is not a one day or week or month day time, right? You have to do a lot of, your preparation things and other things, right?
If I may just add over to that, your ERP implementation or a CBS transformation is like doing an open heart surgery while running a race. So every Tom, Dick and Harry is scared of doing it.
Yes. No, but here it was not the case. Actually, it is just the business decision itself that from retail, we actually added some other component also, and that was the supply chain, right? So I have to actually look into a supply chain area also. That retail solution does not cater the need of supply chain, right? So again, I have to go back to SAP. I have to tell that, okay, I need your supply chain solution also, or I will actually transform this retail, extend this retail to supply chain itself, right? Also, I have to convince my implementation partner that, okay, boss, I have given you contract for this implementation of IS retail. Now you have to extend your contract to implementing supply chain also, right? And there are a lot of internal issues also, which is inbuilt inside the SAP, and a lot of control construction, restriction area into this also. So that was one of the area wherein in my digital transformation time, I face it up. Similarly, if you also have, there's many of them, right? If you can let us know, that will be knowledgeable for us.
Maybe I'll cut short in the interest of time. I think his rule of ruthless implementation is what we follow, but we don't tell it what we follow. The question first is, at least our strategy, who is the main stakeholders? We get their confidence. We ensure that their concerns are addressed, and we be very vocal and open about to say, this is what we will not be able to meet. Once that buy-in is done, then rest assured that it will go. Things will never stop. 10 countries in 8 months, that what we have done, it's impossible unless we are ruthless. So we don't care about anybody saying, but till the time the objective is met is there. Second thing that we always see is, during the course of implementation, not everything is perfect. So that expectation we set, it will be incorrect. There will be audit findings. These things will be there. Accept, move ahead. 1 year down the line, you will get the system that is expected. So don't expect on the date of go live, it should be 100% perfect, and also within the time, within the cost and this. So this is the second principle that we follow. Third thing is, we get all these uncertainties when we go across, like South Africa, when we implemented, immediately the local VAT has become a big bomb, which was not said to be a bomb, it became a bomb. Thailand, we went suddenly, like 3 days before the go live should happen, consultants absconds. So here it is a human resource crunch that gets so immediately we fly in over there and we get this. But if you see from a system side, the challenges will definitely come. Our strategy is, till the time your core objective is met, just defer. achieve the objective, be in the race, be the goal, and then whatever is the change in goal that is coming up, we keep handling. So this is the simplistic rule that we have handled. So every case that we have seen, like we have a mini escalations coming across, flowing across. So it's like we just put it aside. We will not park it in dustbin, but we just park it off, and then we give a separate time for it to handle, unless it is a highly compliance issue. Compliance, we take it at the top because that's external facing. Internal facing, external facing, we take it, and then we achieve this. So like external compliances, even in these big projects, we will not let a compliance down, because at the end we are listed stock exchange, US stock exchange, all these things. Instead of that headache, this headache is much better. So we do this. And the recent digital transformation also with respect to this compliance thing, now we have a single system catering across many countries. Now doing this audit evidence, artifact, it's a pain that is there. But when you take the evidence, it's a point in type snapshot that we take. So we have implemented again a bot again. So what we have done, the bot will execute a reports, that is standard set of reports with standard set of input criteria. And then the bots will save the data with the respective screenshots and other things. So one click, all countries, 86 countries which is serving, the artifact is taken and is dumped. So now is the person has to only just go and check, and no middleman involvement, no accuracy, date is missing, timestamp is missing, this is missing. So understand a set of ITGC controls that we have to maintain, 23 controls across all these landscapes. So now it's a bit easy. So not every 23 can be automated, but at least top 10 can be automated. Compliance is at ease. So this is what we did in terms of our thing.
Yeah. Thanks, Vijay. Narendra, if you can put up some light on this.
So I think, so as I said, what we did was transform the whole user experience. So which means there were still the core apps which were there. So users could go and do it. So the whole challenge was how do we, so first of all, we built a very sexy UX as such. It was really, and it still is one of the best. And our sales guys, the reason we got 14 clients is we are not selling as such. The sales guys themselves are showing to the clients and saying, this is what we have done and we can do it for you as such. So the UX was cool, but how do we get people to use it? Because as you understand, change management is the biggest hurdle. And we didn't really have any of the other luxuries like saying, like I couldn't use this, ye hatao or ye use karo, or for him it was like 88 days after that, that's it, with the blessings of RK as such. 31-minute delay. So the way we did it was we did beta release. We tried to very high focus on OCM, what is organizational change management. Trying to get people who are using it, try to create stories out of it. And we had, over a period of time, we built really such nice stories for people saying, I was stuck here, but because of this I could do it, and so on. So very good stories started coming. For example, we have our own guest houses. So one sales guy says he landed from US at 3 o'clock and he had forgotten to book a guest house. And the guys, he landed up 3 a.m. The front desk is saying, you don't have a reservation. And he opened the app and he did it in 30 seconds and all. That's what he created a story out of it. So we created such viral stories. One employee girl saying that, she was stuck somewhere, she created an emergency as such. Then a sales guy saying, earlier I used to take 1 week, I used to upload all the documentation I used to do over the weekend. Now I'm standing at a signal and I'm able to do it as such. So the best story was, of course, our CEO himself said there is some compliance thing that needs to do. If he doesn't do, the network access itself gets revoked. It had come to that level. And he did it during his travel time to airport. And he also said that this is what he did. So over a period of time, we created such buzz, and of course, in food courts everywhere, we plastered posters, digital posters as such. On laptop also, once you open it, you see that as such. And then over a period of time, it took its life of its own. The interesting thing, so we did mobile first, and afterwards we transformed the desktop experience also. Interestingly, when COVID happened and everybody was stuck to their desktops, we still had 40% of transactions happening on mobile. So that was a clear indicator that people were so hooked into the experience that was there on the mobile that even when they are in front of laptop, they prefer to do transactions on mobile as such. So my learning, or I would say that another thing is that the whole focus on organizational change management, how do you transform and get people to change their behavior and habits as such.
Great, great. I'll move on to Jerry. If you can have something which you have faced across your transformation journey.
On a personal discussion in the management, one of the things I said was, you can't sit in the past yet right on to the future without getting off the saddle. And if you want to do a new age banking, you can't sit in the old age technology. I mean, it is imperative that you have to change. So that, so from that perspective, then I said, yes, it's about, 99% of the people believe it's not possible. Just 1% believe that it's possible. So, but like I said, end of the day, it was necessary because even if I had to keep with the older technology, the blame comes on to me. If I fail on the newer technology, again, I'm going to be blamed. So half the time I said, fine, so it rests with me. So we took a call, and that's what I'm sitting here today live. Because I remember there was a meeting with the, before we embarked on this, and the chairman called everybody. We were some 60 odd jammed into a boardroom, and he said, no, Vaidya said we'll go live before 31st of December. If we don't go live at 31st December, 1st January, we'll have a new CIO. So everybody was stunned. I was the only guy laughing. And my boss came out and said, what is there to laugh? I said, it's a one-sided bet and I'm winning anyway. He said, how can you win anyway? I said, listen, I don't like Bombay. If I fail, I can go back to Bangalore to my house. No problem. But if I succeed, none of you will ever walk into my room and talk to me. And you will stay away from me. So today, that has succeeded. So sometimes you have to have the courage of conviction to do it. That's it. Otherwise, if you start, having opinions, then I think you can keep doing it. It starts as somebody's daydream, and it just happens.
Great, great. So I have done with my thoughts, right? If audience have any questions, they can ask them. Yes, please, give it.
Thank you for the wonderful insights.
Voice is not coming.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Thank you for the wonderful insights. I'm Santosh from 𝐓𝐚𝐼. We are into financial services. One of the challenges which we've been constantly trying to address is that part of our transformation journey. Though the systems were successful, the board likes it, some of the sample clients which we have taken to, they like it, which was primarily built for the clients. To take them to a different level of service. We've been in the industry for 3 decades now. One main challenge we see is that the key account managers who had to interact with the clients and take this to them, somewhere there are some resiliency or hesitance that there are other priorities which we need to do. So when we looked at the priorities, their key task is to do chargeable work. That's what pays our bills. And they've been struggling between the chargeable work or to take a transformation or to educate the clients how to use a new system and stuff like that. There's some involvement of the account managers required because they are familiar with the clients. They've been in touch with clients for years together. We can't do it just as a mass emailer to the clients. So how do you see that challenge can be addressed where your organization's bread and butter is them doing a chargeable work, at the same time you want to take this transformation to your clients?
Yeah, please.
I think the way I understand this, any change is a challenge to the existing power structure. Okay? And people feel insecure and they think because of this, their power or is going to go down. Or in this case, maybe, I'm just answering this question based on what you said. It may or may not be true as such. I think from today's, first of all, from a tech paradigm point of view, any experience should not require anybody to explain or teach anything to anybody. It should be people should be able to just do it. But of course, there will be still set of users, maybe senior citizens, etc., who still need to be handheld around how to do it, etc. But more or less, by and large, all the young generation should be able to add up. So that's from a tech player point of view. Second is getting the account managers or whoever is liaising with the customer, they getting excited. I think somewhere there is a disconnect between what they think is good for them and versus what this app is trying to do. Is somewhere there is a misalignment. Okay, that's how I would say it. If I'm wrong, pardon me.
Question of understanding, right? Vaidhi, if you want to add anything, because that is related to your area, how you will end, or you want mushroom to actually.
No, it's not that, like I said, everything is either a necessity or somebody daydream, or it's a peer pressure to just survive in that. So technology, see, one of the challenges that I'm facing today is technology for the heck of it. The simple thing is, I have an argument with Citibank guys all the time because I have to press 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 5, and 40 minutes would have been gone. And 40 minutes I don't have. And I would rather have just press 1 or 2 to talk in English or Hindi and finish it off in next 30 seconds. So, it's case to case. You can't have a one size fits all kind of a solution. But it differs from situation to situation and people to people.
Sure.
Thank you.
I hope you got the answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Maybe
you.
we can connect offline and discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Anybody else? Okay.
Okay, I guess we don't have any questions, but thank you so much to all our panel speakers.